Hey, it's Roy Calvin. This is another episode of You Don't Know Anything About Women, where I'm giving advice to the posters of Reddit that nobody in the comments will. Let's get into it. Would it be okay to break it off with this girl for being too busy? So for context, I'm a 27-year-old man and she's 23. Been chatting for about 3 months and initially it was going really good. Chatting most days and we have a lot in common. But in the last 6 weeks, we've only hung out one time, and she's only texted me on 2 days because her end of the year university and work and other commitments means she has basically no time for me right now, which is okay, but of course it sucks when you really like someone. So I think for me the best thing is to say this is just not working out. I'm all for someone being busy and having their priorities in order. It's just obvious I'm not one of them. Is this the right approach? Any advice would be appreciated. There's a couple ways you can approach this situation, and it's probably not as simple as you might think. First of all, if you do just want to ditch this girl and never talk to her again, I don't think you need to send any message that says it's not working out. She's kind of already made the choice to not text you very much. We only hung out one time in the last 6 weeks, so you don't know any kind of explanation. You just don't need to send her any messages again, and whatever, she might crawl back someday, and if she does, you can choose what to do at that moment. But yeah, I personally don't get into sending any big messages. Oh, this isn't working out. It just seems like you're kind of begging for attention, like you want her to be like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. I actually want to hang out with you. I'm just busy. I'm sorry. Don't bother doing any of that, man. Just don't bother. I think you display higher value if you just don't send her anything. Now, the next option, I say that this isn't what I would do at this current point in my life because I have enough women around where I don't need to concern myself with ones that don't really seem that interested in meeting me. But for you, you're 27, I don't really know what your whole dating life is like. I imagine it can't be good if you have to come to Reddit and ask these questions, and that's fine. That's why I'm here to help you. So the most important piece of advice is don't put your dating life on hold because you're still talking to this one girl and she won't come out and meet you. You got to go out and meet other women, whether it's through apps or just approaching them wherever you're out and about. Forget about this girl in that sense, but if this girl is like, I don't know, if she's really special, she's really hot or something, you can just keep messaging her like every couple weeks and just keep her on your radar, or rather keep you on her radar. And at some point, maybe her situation will change. I think it's bullshit that she can't meet you more than one time in 6 weeks, of course. Nobody would believe that. I don't believe she's that busy. She would make time for you if she liked you, but maybe she's seeing another guy now. I don't know. Maybe something will change in her life in the next few weeks or months where suddenly she will, for whatever reason, want to meet you again. And so for that reason, you can just keep the relationship kind of warm. Just send her a message or a picture every couple of weeks, a little bit of conversation. And then if the opportunity arises, you can meet her again. But in the meantime, get out and meet other girls. It's okay to be dating a few girls at the same time. Don't worry about it. In any case, don't hold out hope on this girl coming back to you. You got to go find other ones. In all my years of dating, if we get to the point where we've been meeting for like 3 or 4 months, kind of just fizzles out. I don't message her again. She doesn't message me again. And there it is. But I do sometimes when inviting a girl out for the first or second time get the, oh, well, I'm kind of busy with work. And of course, it usually just means they don't want to meet you. Moving on to the next post. I'm surprised this one hasn't been deleted. This is pretty embarrassing. Would using a cuddling service be a red flag in a man? I'm a 28-year-old man and really not getting anywhere with dating. I increasingly feel lonely, but not for platonic or sexual companionship. More like I need a hug or to cuddle with a woman, chat a little bit, and maybe share a meal and whatnot. And it turns out there are websites for this kind of stuff. My concern is if that would be something too weird if a future partner were to find out. On the one hand, it would signal that I couldn't do it the normal way like everybody else, so I understand it may be a red flag. On the other hand, I feel like I'm worrying about an imaginary person's opinion on my experience that could definitely be helpful to my mental health in the here and now. What do you guys think? What do I think? I think you're a fucking loser. This is weird. There's people in the comments saying, oh, it's normal to want to feel affection. You're a human. It's a human thing to do. It's normal to go out and find a woman and have sex with her. It's not normal to pay a woman to come and cuddle with you. Don't go down this path. And I agree with some of the comments saying, like, at that point, you might as well just get a prostitute and have sex, which I agree with. Like, I don't think you should pay for a woman's time in any capacity, but to cuddle, to hug, like, I could probably go up to a random woman on the street and just hug them and say, oh, hey, what's up? I don't need to pay for that. You don't need to pay for hugging and cuddling. Hugging and cuddling comes along with a healthy dating life. Me personally, I'm more into the sexual aspect of it. But okay, if you're looking for hugs and cuddles, those will come along as well. Your concern that a future partner would find out is not the concern here at all. They're not going to find out unless you tell them. But my advice to you is don't slip down to this level where you're paying for the company of women. It basically is prostitution. I don't care what anybody says. You're paying for the woman's time to do something that she wouldn't really want to do normally, with you at least. And someone in the comments says that seeing an escort would be a red flag, but seeing someone for professional cuddling wouldn't be. Absolutely ridiculous. This is when Reddit's mentality really shines through. These are not normal human beings on here, or at least not healthy human beings with a healthy dating life. And that's exactly why I started this podcast. Don't go down this path, making a business out of sex. And I understand it can be easy to fall into that, but don't do it. Have some self-respect. Go out there, find some dates. You'll get your cuddling and hugging with a woman, okay? You just got to put in the effort. But to answer the question of if it's a red flag, yes. Absolute yes. You're weird. This is one that got removed either by the Reddit mods or by the poster himself, so you always know it's a good one when that happens. I'm a 32-year-old man, and I was dating a 22-year-old female for 3 months. She ended it when I wouldn't give her $300. Was I wrong? So I've been seeing this girl for about 3 months. Things have been going decently. We took a trip together to LA, went on some nice dates, and I tried to be emotionally supportive. I even gave her money a couple times earlier on when she needed help. Nothing crazy, but enough to show I cared. Early on into dating, I mentioned I planned to buy her flowers, and she told me she'd prefer if I just gave her money so she could buy skincare products. I gave her $100 instead. A few weeks later, she asked for $200 to buy merch at a concert. I gave it to her. The third time, she requested $350 to cover some items for our LA trip. I paid for that too. I also always cover the cost of our dates, dinners, outings, everything. Then out of the blue, before going out to eat breakfast, she told me that it's her standard for guys to financially support her while dating. This had never been brought up before. She asked for $500, then quickly lowered it to $300 when I didn't immediately agree. I told her honestly I didn't feel comfortable giving money like that as an expectation. To me, that turns the relationship transactional, and I'm not into that dynamic. She said I'd changed since our LA trip, which felt completely untrue, and told me we were at a fork in the road with my boundary and her standard. And then after I asked if she wanted to stop dating, she said yes. The whole thing happened in about 30 minutes. We were headed to breakfast, parked to talk about the situation, then I drove her home. We hugged, she walked away. That was it. It hurts because we had so much in common. She was my type physically, and I really liked her. Looking back, she rarely initiated conversations, never asked much about my life, and that always made the situation feel one-sided. It seems clear now she was more interested in what I could do for her, not in building something with me. The ironic part, I was planning to give her the $300. I just said no to see how she'd respond, and her response told me everything. So yeah, Reddit, was I wrong for drawing that line, or did I dodge a walking red flag? This is what happens in relationships when you lead with money. He says really early on that he'd help her out, just enough to show that he cared. You don't need to give girls money to show that you care, and girls should like you regardless of money. It's not that being well established and having money doesn't help you out, but this is a very obvious case of a girl who is just with you for money. Says that it's her standard for guys to financially support her while dating. That's not dating. She's doing prostitution. I believe the professionals call it the girlfriend experience. You pay for the girl to not just have sex with you, but also come out and, go on a date with you or go travel even. You're paying, man. You're paying for a prostitute and you don't even realize it. He says later in the comments that $100 is really nothing to him. That's fine. It's besides the point. It's just what kind of relationship do you want to build? You built this from the beginning. You chose this. It's another one of those posts where I can't even blame the girl. Like, it's so obvious what she's doing. I'm not mad at her for trying to take advantage of a guy financially because there's so many guys that are willing to do that. So this girl is obviously low quality, low morals, nobody I would be interested in. But I can't blame her for taking advantage of the money that's being thrown to her by guys. He says that thing about her being financially supportive while dating came up out of the blue. Out of the blue? You already gave her money to show that you care. Gave her $100 for skincare. Gave her $200 to buy merch at a concert. It didn't just start out of the blue. It's been the whole thing. Now, instead of just getting you to pay for some specific items, she wants some recurring revenue that's regularly going to be given to her for no concrete reason. Just the fact that she's there. And that's no worse or better than the money that you gave her for everything else. He says it seems clear now that she was more interested in what I could do for her, not in building something with me. Ugh. It's just so cringe, man. Building something with you. You were just an ATM for her. Building something with you. How can you be so blind? But that's why I'm here to give you advice. And some of the comments also point out the 10-year age difference in these two. I mean, a 32-year-old can easily date a 22-year-old. That's not a big deal. I've done it, and an age gap certainly does not turn it into a transactional thing right away. Now, are there cases where it's okay for the guy to pay? Yes. Are there cases where it's okay to give your girlfriend a bit of money? Yes. But most of the time on this podcast, I just have to give a blanket rule of don't pay anything, because a lot of the guys are so clueless that they can't really differentiate between a situation where it's okay and a situation where it's not. And this is one of those guys. Hopefully he sees in the future to not give girls money whenever they ask. On the first date he has with a girl, he should get her to pay for her half or do something free or really cheap. That's my advice going forward. Here's one more post for this episode. I love my girlfriend, but I don't see myself ever marrying her. How do I handle this? I'm 20 years old and I've been with my girlfriend of the same age for 2 years. We've shared a lot together and I do love her. When we're together, I'm affectionate. I kiss her, cuddle her, I say I love you. But when we're apart, I feel emotionally distant and indifferent, and I can't seem to picture a long-term future with her. She talks about getting married pretty much as soon as I'm out of school. She's serious about marriage and kids, and it's something that really matters to her. The problem is, I just don't see myself proposing to her. I've tried to imagine it, and it just doesn't feel right for me. I care about her and don't want to hurt her, but I also don't want to string her along or fake a future I'm not aligned with. I'm stuck on how to bring this up without breaking her heart or feeling like the bad guy. Has anyone gone through something like this? How do I talk to her about this without blindsiding her or causing more pain than necessary? Well, there's not much you can do, man. Breakups are not easy. You just kind of got to do it. She's looking for marriage and a family with you, and you have to tell her, no, I don't want that, so goodbye. There's no nice way to do that. So really my advice is just don't overthink it. You just got to go do it. But you're 20 years old. You are right to be feeling like this. I don't think 20 years old is when you should be thinking about marriage and family. And she is, and that's okay, but you don't need to be involved with that. Don't get yourself in a situation that you don't want to be in. So luckily for you, it seems like you've already decided that this is not something that you want, and so you won't go along with it. You're going to do the best thing and get out of it. Your other option, if there must be one, is that you can sit down with her and say, look, I don't think I want those things, but like we can stay together and maybe I will in the future, but I don't know. I'm telling you right now, I don't see myself getting married to you. And then the ball's kind of in her court, right? You've told her how you feel, and if she chooses to stay with you, then she can, and she can't really fault you again for not wanting those things. Or she might just break up with you. So I guess, that could be a way of making it easier on yourself if you kind of turn it around into she's the one breaking up with you. But she's going to be upset either way. That's how it is in dating. Some people get hurt even though you'd prefer that they don't. But 20 years old, good. Get out of it. Go meet some more girls. Maybe in a few years you can actually start thinking about if you ever want to get married or have kids or whatever. Girls also have more of an expiry date than guys. Now 20 years old, that's very young. She has lots of time to go find somebody else and build a family with them. But imagine if you stay with her until like 26, 27, 28, and then you decide to tell her, oh, I actually don't want to do all that stuff that you want to do. And that's bad. You just wasted like 7 years of her prime dating life when she could have been out finding somebody who actually wants the same things that she does. So don't be that guy. Just end it. And I'm going to end this episode of the podcast right here. Make sure you check out the link in the show notes so you can find out how to support the show or get in contact with me. See you next time.